Thanks, Sally. The new Senate Tea Party caucus holding its first meeting this week. Founding members Jim DeMint, Rand Paul, and Mike Lee were there, but some notable absences. Tea Party favorites Marco Rubio, Pat Toomey, Ron Johnson say they will not be joining, but the caucus did grow by one when Kansas Senator Jerry Moran signed on. So where does the new four-member Senate Tea Party caucus go from here? For a fair and balanced debate, we're joined this morning by Tea Party activist Sonja Schmidt and Democratic political consultant Carmen Sayada. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sonja, let me start with you. Bright and early out there in L.A., just four senators in this Tea Party caucus. So how effective, how influential can this group be?
You know, I think still very influential. When I first heard about the snubbing, I was a little put out myself, but then ultimately I realized that it doesn't matter in the long run if they align themselves with the Tea Party groups or call themselves Tea Party members. What matters is if their actions align with the Tea Party group. We've just had the health care bill repealed through the House, so that's a good thing. I think that's the most important thing, that their actions are aligned.
Ron Johnson, who defeated Russ Feingold in Wisconsin, implied that he's not joining because he's afraid it could be divisive. It could fracture the Republican Party. Carmen, do you think this could be a divisive maneuver in the Republican Party as far as the Tea Party caucus goes?
Look, this is the thing. For the Tea Party caucus to be effective, it needs to become a national movement with mainstream appeal. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court decision has made it very difficult for them to actually establish an infrastructure and a party that is going to have national leverage and national appeal. So I think that it makes perfect sense that the Republicans are trying to subsume the Tea Party into the movement.
We mentioned Ron Johnson, also Marco Rubio and Pat Toomey did not join this Tea Party caucus, although they were largely put into office by the Tea Party wave. Sonja, is the bigger story those that did not join this caucus?
I think so, and you know, sadly, I think some of their excuses for not going were a bit feeble. It was sort of like, I'm shampooing my hair that day. I mean, I totally get Marco Rubio's concern that if the Tea Party gets involved with politicians, they become less effective. I do respect that. But I also think that they need to stand and make a show of support by going at least to the first one. I thought it was important. It's like that old saying that says, you know, at least dance with the one who brung you. So they do become the larger story.
Yeah, it was interesting. You mentioned Marco Rubio, and he said he doesn't want politicians in Congress, quote, co-opting the mantle of a grassroots movement. Right. Carmen, is this more effective, the Tea Party movement, as simply that, a grassroots movement with no real structure or leadership in D.C.?
I think it's probably more effective that way. Marco Rubio is in a peculiar situation. I mean, he's looking at a potential national candidacy. Only 30% of Hispanics voted for him. So he needs to distance himself from the party, from the Tea Party, basically, in order to be able to aspire to that national candidacy.
Carmen Sayada, Sonja Schmidt, thank you both so much for being here. Sonja, I know it is bright and early out there in L.A. Thank you for being here.
Oh, yeah.
Allie
Thank you very much.
What's coming up, guys?